I want you to imagine meeting someone who seems to connect and understand your every thought, share your passions and your dreams, and seems to connect and reflect your very essence. To many of us who have encountered someone like this, it feels like destiny, this once-in-a-lifetime connection, like you have finally met your soulmate, your twin flame. But what if this mirror is a lie? A facade, a fake, an act, a calculated strategy employed by a narcissist to infiltrate your life. Because if you have an encounter like this, there's a very good chance that will be true. Narcissistic mirroring is a very deceptive dance where the narcissist adopts your identity, only to later use it against you. And in today's video, we are going to explore how narcissists copy you, essentially become you, and ultimately aim to destroy you. But first, if you're new to this channel, I'd like to take a moment and welcome you and invite you to please subscribe and be sure and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in private one-on-one narcissistic abuse recovery coaching sessions with me, please visit my website. It is linked in the description below. So today we are talking about how narcissists mirror a target that they have in their crosshairs, taking on and absorbing your exact identity, and then actively go about trying to destroy you. Why do they do this? What in God's name would possess someone to do something like that? Because this is exactly what narcissists do. And there are several reasons that they do this. And the first aspect of this that we're going to discuss is that narcissists are chameleons. If they have determined you are a possible contestant to be their new primary source of narcissistic supply, then they have zeroed in on certain traits or possessions of yours that they find worthwhile and are likely envious of. But narcissists do not have a strong and secure sense of self. That part of them never developed. And to compensate, they adopt the identities of the target, using mirroring as a tool to forge a false connection and to extract what they need, which is admiration, validation, and control. Their goal is to gain complete control over your life, taking from you the very things that they envy or desire, and then leave you destroyed, depleted, and destitute. Another reason they do this is because they are desperately trying to fill a deep, dark void in themselves by constructing a false identity, stealing parts of your identity or others that they admire or envy in a futile effort to fill the void where their own sense of self and their true identity should be. They find temporary relief in adopting your characteristics. However, this strategy is not sustainable. These adopted traits are not integrated into a genuine self-concept. They are just superficial layers that mask their deep-seated insecurities. So this will not actually fix or heal this void in them. And what ends up happening is the facade inevitably cracks under the pressure of authenticity, and that will trigger their deep-seated shame and inferiority complex, igniting another cycle of devaluation and abuse. Another reason narcissists engage in mirroring is rooted in their intense and extreme envy. Unlike typical feelings of jealousy, narcissistic envy is pathological and all-consuming. They are not just envious of your achievements or possessions. They truly desire your very essence, your authenticity, empathy, resilience, and the genuine connections you form with others. These are qualities that they lack but desperately desire. So this pathological envy compels them to replicate the traits they admire in you, but not as a form of flattery or connection, but as a means of possession and control. They believe that by adopting your characteristics, they can attain the same admiration and success that you naturally garner. However, this imitation is superficial and completely unsustainable. And over time, their inability to authentically embody these traits leads to frustration and resentment. the very qualities they once sought to emulate become sources of contempt. They may begin to undermine, belittle, or sabotage you in an attempt to diminish your light and alleviate their own feelings of inadequacy. Next, as the narcissist continues to mirror and absorb your traits, you may begin to feel a loss of your own identity. Your unique qualities are being absorbed by the narcissist, which leads to you feeling confused and like you have a diminished sense of self. It's like a psychological erosion they are subjecting you to, and you need to understand it's a deliberate act to destabilize and control you. Over time, this manipulation can lead to the development of a pseudo-identity, where you unconsciously adopt the traits and behaviors the narcissist desires for you to exhibit. It's a survival strategy that many victims adopt in order to try to keep the narcissist happy and hopefully maintain the peace of the home to some degree. This new identity is a way of gaining approval and avoiding conflict, but it comes at the cost of suppressing your authentic self. And unfortunately, the longer you remain in this dynamic, the more challenging it becomes to distinguish your true identity from the one the narcissist imposed on you. This will begin to shift, however, because once the narcissist has extracted what they desire, the dynamic will change. Eventually, they will turn their admiration of you into contempt. So the traits they once mirrored and admired now become targets of criticism and contempt. This shift is the beginning of the devaluation phase, which is a calculated strategy to undermine your self-worth and reassert their dominance and control. In this phase, the narcissist's perception of you flips dramatically. Qualities they previously celebrated are now portrayed as flaws. Your confidence is labeled as arrogance. Your empathy is dismissed as weakness. And you need to understand this sudden shift is not a reflection of your actions or anything you have or haven't done. It's a manifestation of the narcissist's pathology and their internal insecurities and need for control. However, having said that, it can and usually will have very severe and devastating consequences to your self-esteem, self-worth, confidence, and self-image, which is exactly what the narcissist is hoping it will do. Next, you will be subjected to insane amounts of projection and gaslighting, meaning the narcissist will be actively working on distorting your understanding of reality. And you need to understand this phase is the definition of psychological abuse. In this phase, narcissists often project their own flaws onto you, accusing you of behaviors and intentions that reflect their inner turmoil. And these tactics are extremely confusing. They make you question your reality, which plays right into the narcissist's plan to dominate and control you. Projection involves attributing their own undesirable traits or behaviors onto you. It's a defense mechanism that allows them to avoid confronting their own flaws by shifting the focus onto you. Gaslighting, on the other hand, is a deliberate tactic to make you question your perceptions, memories, and sanity. So the narcissist may deny events occurred, insist that things you remember never happened, or tell you that you're overreacting or imagining things. And over time, this constant manipulation can lead to debilitating confusion and self-doubt, ultimately making you more and more dependent on the narcissist for their interpretation of reality rather than on your own eyes, ears, and perceptions, which is again the narcissist's ultimate goal. Once they gain this kind of control over your mind, they know they have you right where they want you. Usually, the narcissist will use their adopted traits that they copied and mimicked off of you in order to manipulate and exploit other people. So they will attempt to present themselves as someone they are not, you in this case, in order to gain favor or advantage. So in social settings or in social circles or professional environments, the narcissist may adopt your mannerisms, speech patterns, or interests to charm new acquaintances, creating an illusion of authenticity and relatability. They might even steal your ideas or achievements and present them as their own, leveraging your strengths to advance their status while undermining your credibility. This allows them to bask in the admiration and respect that rightfully belong to you, reinforces their inflated self-image, and positions them as indispensable within various social and professional networks. Meanwhile, you may very well find yourself marginalized, your contributions overlooked, and your reputation unjustly tarnished. Eventually, however, the narcissist will discard you or you will manage to break free. And that's when you find yourself left to pick up the pieces of trying to wrap your head around what you just experienced, as well as trying to reestablish your unique identity again. This is usually a very surreal time period because the betrayal of having your identity, your personality, your essence hijacked, used, exploited, and violated right in front of you without you really understanding what in the hell was going on. It's like walking out of the Twilight Zone. Unfortunately, this can lead to having significant trust issues in your ability to trust not only other people, but also yourself. This is a very significant violation and trauma that you have just lived through. And wrapping your head around it, understanding exactly what happened, and healing from it completely is going to be a process. So if you have lived through this, please be patient and gentle with yourself. Healing is going to take time. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on my other social media platforms. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone.